What if I were to say to you that the Irish sport of hurling and the Canadian sport of ice hockey were intrinsically linked? Would you believe me? Oh yes. A quick history of hurling. It is the oldest sport in Ireland and it predates recorded history. It is thought to predate the arrival of the Celts. It has been a distinct Irish pastime for at least 3,000 years. The earliest written references to the sport in Brehon law date from the 5th century. The origins of ice hockey are somewhat murky, and the sport likely evolved over time through a combination of various stick and ball games. However, it is generally believed that modern ice hockey, as we know it today, was first organised in the mid-19th century in Canada. The first indoor game of ice hockey was played in Montreal in 1875. And first organised hockey league, the Amateur Hockey Association of Canada, was formed in 1885. While there is no single person credited with the creation of ice hockey, many early players and teams played a significant role in shaping the sport into what it is today. Let's examine the similarities between the two sports. Both hurling and ice hockey involve a small ball or puck that is propelled across the playing surface with a curved stick. Additionally, both sports are physically demanding and require a high level of skill and athleticism to excel in. One theory suggests that the Irish immigrants into Canada brought their love of hurling with them, of course, and adapted it to the colder climate by playing on ice instead of grass. This adaptation eventually evolved into the sport we know as ice hockey. During the mid-19th century, there was a massive influx of Irish immigrants into Canada. Potentially up to around 300,000 Irish immigrants entered Canada around the time of the Great Famine, or the Great Hunger, which occurred in the mid-19th century. The Irish immigrants played an important role in shaping Canadian society, including its sports and culture, and that influence can still be seen today. Another theory suggests that Canadian ice hockey was formulated and formed separately to Irish hurling, but was heavily influenced by it. It is believed the curved sticks used in early versions of ice hockey were inspired by the hurleys used in hurling. Despite all of these similarities we talked about, there are key differences as well in both sports. For example, hurling is played on a field and ice hockey is played on ice. Hurling is played with 15 players on each team, while ice hockey only has 6 players on each team. Hurling also allows players to catch and carry the ball, while in ice hockey you can only use sticks to move the puck. It's kind of obvious though, because you're on ice. It's a bit more difficult to carry while on ice. Also, I imagine that the stick is a way of balancing yourself on the ice, so I don't know if that's much of a difference. I think that's an adaptation of the sport rather than anything else. While there are certain similarities, of course, as we've discussed between the two, it's difficult to say for certain if hurling influenced ice hockey. But maybe the similarities are just a mere coincidence. Whether or not they're intrinsically linked is up for debate. But one thing is for certain, both sports are beloved by their fans and continue to be enjoyed by millions around the world. Are ice hockey and hurling intrinsically linked? Would you believe me? Oh yes.